2020 Toyota GR Supra.
With launch control. Lots of wheel spin, but no less fun.
Yeah, so this is pretty much exactly a BMW.
This is a BMW.
And I am 100% okay with it because BMW makes sick cars. This is pretty much a Toyota Supra shell on an M2 Competition.
Yeah, pretty much, sort of, but not, but yes.
That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, exactly, and I've got no issues with it overall.
All right, send it.
Oh, that's fast.
Horsepower and torque.
335 horsepower, 365 pound-feet of torque from a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's straight up a lie.
It's definitely faster than that.
It feels like it's in the neighborhood of like 400, maybe right around there, and there's been multiple dynos on the internet to confirm that this is definitely underrated. And so the most obvious thing to do, let's send it into cliche corner and let's see how sideways we can get. That's so good.
But it's like pretty much the M2 Comp.
Yeah, it's very twitchy, but very controllable. Like, it's more twitchy than the M2 Competition.
Yeah.
Because this is a shorter wheelbase. And the craziest part, this is actually a shorter wheelbase than the Toyota 86 and the Supra BRZ. So that's why I think it feels so twitchy, but it makes it no less controllable. You can catch every drift. This just wants to get out sideways, but it also wants you to catch every drift.
But even when you're driving slow and like steering, when you move the steering wheel, it's got like a perfect instant response, and there's no weird stuff like the M240i. Maybe this is the Toyota part because it does have a different steering wheel.
Exactly, and thank you for bringing that up because it feels so good. It doesn't feel like an M Performance model. It feels like it should just do what it does, and it's perfect.
It's a secret M car.
Yeah, kind of. So now let's talk about that engine a little bit more. It pulls so hard, and it sounds so good.
Yeah, like this sounds way better than the Z4 did.
It does. Like, they tune the exhaust. Toyota has done things to this. Yes, it is pretty much a BMW, but Toyota has put their name on this.
I feel like one guy signed off on changes that BMW approved.
No, there's definitely a lot of stuff that they did.
I don't think so.
I think so. Anyways, it sounds really good. I think it could be a little bit louder, but it's the tone of it sounds really good. And then we also have kind of a step above M Performance crackles, but not quite M crackles.
I think it's its own special little crackle, and I always get the pops when I rev all the way up right before orange line and let off. That's when you go, like, I was so obnoxious with this car. Everyone was looking at it and I was popping for everyone.
Oh yeah, same here. I couldn't stop. This car does that to you. Certain cars just do that to you. Like, you get in, you're like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I have to rip it. Toyota, I think, BMW, absolutely nailed it.
And the funny thing is, what is Toyota's other sports car?
Well, it's the the Toyota 86.
Exactly.
Which has a Subaru BRZ engine.
The fact that they don't make their own sports cars and they have like some of the sickest sports cars is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, they've figured out something that works, and they got it.
No one's mad.
No, exactly. Well, there's a lot of people on the internet that are mad.
I'm not mad.
No, I'm not.
I really like the cars they poached.
To be honest, I would prefer if this had a Toyota built inline 6. I just want to see how this does long-term reliability-wise, because BMW, not exactly known for reliability.
I was talking to someone on Instagram who works at a Toyota dealership.
Yep.
And he said there's only one tech who's allowed to work on these.
See? Well, I mean, I guess if they have like master techs, because that makes sense.
I mean like BMW trained, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's why.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So everybody knows the Mark IV Supra for the 2JZ GTE. This is the B58, which is obviously a BMW engine. We love this engine in the 440i. Remember that popping exhaust? Yeah. Exactly. So this has been in multiple 40i series BMWs. Now this is slightly tuned differently by Toyota. I don't think it feels any different, but it's just, it doesn't stop pulling. Like, it's just instant every single time. Like, there's no lag.
Yeah, this will definitely force you to speed.
It will. Like, it actually will. And everybody's gonna look at you. Let's get to the looks, because this is bright friggin' yellow.
Okay, I love the looks, but it kind of looks like the Z4M.
The old one.
Yeah, with the hard top.
Yeah, there's definitely resemblances to that.
But like, it definitely looks like a Supra. All the body lines are probably a million times cooler than anything BMW is doing right now.
100% agree.
I want to start with the front end though.
Go for it.
It's got that little grille in the middle, and everyone photoshops it to look different like the old Mark IV Supra, but I have no issues with this at all.
No, and this is one of the cars that actually looked very, very similar to the FT1 concept, so I'm not upset at all with how this ended up compared to the concept.
Yes, just like the Prowler.
This is so fun. I just want to keep sending it.
So the headlights.
Okay, headlights.
It's a solid little line. It looks great. Is there anything you think they should have done differently?
No, I think they kind of nailed the old Mark IV Supra in the headlights and then just made it futuristic.
And then we got the little like black lip kit at the bottom. Obviously we're in this great, I think, sunburst yellow paint.
It looks incredible and everybody stares at this thing.
And then we've got a couple fake vents up at the front. I think Toyota said you can take them out and make them functional for like aftermarket, but I think some people say you can't.
Yeah, so we're not going to judge that. However, the door ones I will judge, because what are you going to do with that? Cool the doors? Like, you're not going to go door through body back to the brakes. Like,
but I'm not bothered by that.
I'm not either.
It looks cool. I think they needed black space in the car, so they added like the little black fake vents, and they're like, you can do whatever you want with it, we don't care.
And it's like everybody that got mad at the Civic Type R with the fake vents, too.
Exactly. So then if we move to the side view,
I think this looks so good from the side.
like, wow, that's where like the Z4M comes in.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love it. I love the big rear quarter panels and everything.
The rear quarter panels make this car for me, and then that ducktail spoiler, but we'll get to the back in a second.
I like the little windows. Like, it may be kind of crappy inside the seat, but it's totally worth it. And the roof also has some bulges in it, so you could fit in here with buckets on.
Yeah, exactly. I did actually test myself in here with a helmet, and I did fit. So it is a little bit cramped in here, but we'll get to the interior later.
And then let's move to the wheels.
They look good for what this is, but I think they could have done better.
Yeah, they're all right, but I'm not in love with them, and I could care less if they stayed on this car or not.
Yeah, exactly. Do you mind if I use them to do a little bit of a drift? I love this car, I'm sorry.
So controllable.
I know!
Then what's the Continental recommended tire for the Supra?
The Extreme Contact DWS 06.
So now the back end, we've got a built-in spoiler, which looks so sick.
Yeah, the ducktail spoiler, like, it's perfect.
And this is a hatchback, so we should probably do the box test.
And box test!
1, 2 boxes, and a bunch of lids. It doesn't have a lot of room for boxes, but it does have a lot of room.
Exactly, because it has such a weird shape to it, but because of that weird shape, you get the cool shape of the car.
And removing and putting in the trunk liner is like insane.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous.
The cover.
Yeah, it's like putting in a square into a circle type deal.
Yeah. And then now to the back end, absolutely love these taillights.
Oh my God, they nailed the taillights.
Like, they look so good, and when the sun hits at a certain angle, the shadow is red, which is so cool.
And the exhaust, they absolutely nailed it. There's no fake tips, and the actual tips themselves look so good.
Yeah, it's definitely better than what most of BMW is producing right now.
Well, you get real M tips on this.
I actually really like this partnership, you know what I mean?
So do I.
I accidentally created one of the coolest BMWs.
Yeah, exactly. But also one of the coolest Toyotas, because this does have a Toyota badge. And let's talk about that badge, because that badge, I love that they brought back the old font.
Yeah, it looks so awesome.
And then we have a nice big fat rear diffuser. Overall, from the back, from the front, from the side, love this thing.
Perfect looks. 10 out of 10. Doug score.
What about the Yuri and Jacob score?
Oh, we don't have one yet. We're going to build a cool wall one of these days.
I'm going to give it the Jacob score, which is 11 out of 10. And I'm going to give that to like 90% of cars. All right, so let's get you into the driver's seat, get some sends, get some interiors.
So to launch it, we have to be in sport mode and only one traction off.
Correct. Launch it, Yuri.
That was a little underwhelming.
Yeah, like it's not the craziest right off the line, and then after it picks up. So this does do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.3 seconds, which is faster than the Z4. However, people have been getting faster numbers online.
I think what you should really do is turn traction all the way off and just light those tires all the way down on that launch.
Exactly. I did enjoy doing that thoroughly. And you mentioned that you do have to leave it in auto. So if you do put it in manual, how fast does this ZF 8-speed transmission shift?
Oh, lightning, man.
Yeah, it's the best.
So it is a BMW shifter, so we do have down for up for down, and then we've got those nice BMW paddles on here as well. They're definitely better than all of Audi and tied with a lot of Mercedes.
Yes, and Toyota, because this is, after all, the Toyota.
Yeah, okay, whatever. And then the steering wheel being extra thin, I do like it a lot more than everything out of a BMW.
And this does feel Toyota.
Yeah, that feels the most Toyota.
And the bottom part of it?
Yeah, it looks like out of a Corolla or something.
Exactly.
And then the gauges, I absolutely love, because BMW has been butchering their gauges for years.
Well, the new ones, yes.
Well, even the old ones aren't as good as this. So this, they took like the old i3 screen. You say it's the same as the M2 Competition.
I think so.
And they put a plastic bevel around it to make it look cool, but then they just put the tack in the middle. That's all that anybody wants. Tack in the middle.
I love seeing the huge numbers everywhere, and it's like crystal clear refresh rate as well.
Yeah, and then you've got your speedo on the left, which is like kind of hard to see when you're turning right, but you also have it in your head-up display. But what sucks about the head-up display is there's no tack there at all.
Yeah, yeah.
No shift lights, so I turned that off right away when I got in the car.
I just love the center tack, and I don't even look at anything else anyways.
Yeah, I don't need to be reminded of what speed the speed limit is. And then as for shift light, it kind of bubbles up a little bit when it's time to shift. And when you go to sport mode, you get a couple more orange and red lines to know you're in sport mode.
Do you want to talk about the sport modes next?
Yeah, let's go for it. So
The one sport mode.
one big button that you click, and then that also is only sport individual. There's no like sport plus or anything.
Which is kind of cool. Like, it's
Yeah.
a different way of doing it.
It's like, this is your car, push sport, it's the way you want it, go for it. And then as for traction, there's 2 tractions. You hold it once or you hold it extra long and that'll turn everything off.
And we would highly recommend turning it off.
Yeah, because it won't get any sideways if you have only one traction on.
Yeah, only in a straight line it kind of gets squirrely, but it's not like sideways fun.
This middle screen here is pretty much out of the i3 because you can see this ugly little bevel, which is cool. Bevel, bezel, I don't know which one's which.
Bezel.
And I know it's from the older ones because when I use my Apple CarPlay, even though it's widescreen, it doesn't go all the way across, which it does have wireless Apple CarPlay.
And when I use my Android Auto, oh wait.
Yes, but what were you saying?
Toyota actually includes 4 years of Apple CarPlay, and then you have to pay after that. So Toyota has now taken on the BMW model, apparently.
And I know they bragged about the first ever wireless CarPlay in a Toyota, and it's
and
not
it's a BMW. Oh man, what a world
like
we live
whatever.
in.
It's marketing is killing it.
But apparently Android Auto is coming to future Toyotas, and I think some of them have it for like 2020.
And then the screen is always way too dark, which sucks. Like way too dark. But we have the power and torque meter, which shows every digit, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah, the refresh rate on the screen is incredible, just like the gauges.
And as for the rest of the infotainment, same as the older BMWs, we've got our cool little scroll wheel here that works perfectly. We've got rewinding satellite radios with smart favorites. We can program stuff to these 8 buttons right here, like I can program my Apple CarPlay, my rewinding screen, or my stations.
And then we have nice climate controls, and just like the BMWs of the past, there's no sync button for the climate.
But the volume knob does not spin around in there.
I also noticed that.
So some more interior stuff. The visor test.
Okay, well, that's an easy one. I don't even,
All right.
There's no 3, 2, 1, that's a fail.
And then as for a small cup underneath your feet right there, it does fit perfectly.
Yes, it does.
But we don't have any like armrest area to open up and put stuff in.
Yeah, I know, I do miss that.
But I don't care because everything in here is so cool.
However, we do have like a little net, which is reminiscent of convertibles like the Z4.
And then we've got a little area for your cell phone, which doesn't really fit a cell phone. Some more interior stuff. The seats.
The seats are so comfortable, they're super well bolstered, I love them.
Yeah, they're power seats, memory, like it's very nice, but it's a manual adjustment steering wheel, which I don't mind at all.
Yeah, exactly. And then overall, it's really good quality. It's kind of BMW quality, which makes sense, but it's kind of cramped in here.
Oh, definitely. But like the materials, this like leather wrap dash thing looks cool with the stitching. This Vanta Cross looks cool. And my favorite part, the old school like sub speaker covers in the back.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I'm like, wow, that is old school. I love it.
And it's like, it's open right here, so you can like reach all the way back.
You got a big old strut bar back here. Love it.
It is old school style.
It is. Like, there are still Mark IV Supra type stuff in here. We have really nice carbon fiber down here, and then we also have Toyota inspired. If this was a BMW, this would have been gloss black, but Toyota uses gloss black with like sparkles in it.
And we got that on the sides.
Exactly. It's well laid out, just like BMWs, and I just like it overall.
Yeah, no real issues. Well, except for one issue, which I'm going to talk to you right after this little cliche corner
Yeah,
set.
give me a little send through cliche, and then we'll nail that big issue that this interior has.
God, I love this.
I know. That suspension is so good. We got rear wheel drive. We have an active rear differential. I think the biggest influence Toyota had on this was the suspension, because in sport mode, it's not over damped. BMWs also nail theirs, but I think Toyota just kind of softened this up and just made it a little bit more fun.
But to be brutally honest, I like the handling and power delivery and everything more in the M2 Competition.
We did drive that in the winter, but we also did drive it on the racetrack.
Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent. I do think that the M2 Competition probably handles a little bit better than this and a little bit better for racetracks, but I still think this is really fast, and I would actually prefer this.
Behind the wheel, I felt better in the M2 Competition, but we'll talk about what we will take later. I got to talk about some complaints I have.
Should I roll down the window, or do you want to do it?
If we roll down the windows all the way, you get insane buffeting. And like, I thought I might have been a little crazy,
No,
but I
you're not.
asked other journalists too, and they also had the same issue.
Well, you asked me, and I double verified this.
It's like, it's unbearably crazy, and like, I don't know how they even sell this car.
So I actually triple verified this by going online. So I found some forums, and people were actually trying to like 3D model wind deflectors for interiors, which is insane.
I can't understand how a car with only 2 windows has buffeting. Like that seems like the easiest engineering problem to solve.
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy that this has this much buffeting.
And that is the biggest deal breaker for me. Like I would 100% not even buy this car because of that.
Let's show the people what this sounds like. Roll down both windows, please. Go a little bit faster, and
Very annoying.
ridiculously loud. And then let's do it halfway just to show, because there's a fix for this, and it's a pretty crappy fix. Go a little bit faster again, and the buffeting's pretty much gone.
So you can only have your windows open a few inches on each side.
Which sucks.
And then another issue that I noticed that only bothered me, it didn't bother you, the seatbelt, it's got like a loop right in the middle where your waist is, which I think is annoying. And then it locked on me more often than not. Like just while driving, it would like lock for no reason.
Yeah, maybe because I was driving with the safety stuff off all the time.
I think it's my size, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That might be it too, but like those two things I never experienced in the M2 Competition, which is another reason why Supra is not really my style.
Oh, I love this thing. Would you want a little bit more power?
I would always want a little bit more power.
Exactly. So this is the B58 engine. So BMW has been putting the S58 engine into the X3M competition and the X4M competition. So the rumors are probably true that the M3 and M4 are going to get it. So it's pretty much going to be a drop-in for this, and I have a feeling that we will see something like that in this later.
Or at least people are going to swap it.
Oh, but they will for sure, but I think we'll see a factory one later.
Supra 40i?
Yeah. Well, this is a GR. So this is Gazoo Racing. So this is like Toyota's internal racing division. Kind of like AMG, but not quite.
I feel like this already is the M model though.
No, this is going to get faster and more M-like, I think.
Okay, enough of that. Let's get to the price.
It's actually a bargain. $63,690 to start.
Canadian.
And if you get this optional paint, $65,245.
Okay, so what does that compete with? Like kind of a Cayman almost, or not really?
Well, this is actually built to go after the Cayman.
But it's a lot cheaper.
It is.
And then M2 Competition as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is pretty much on par with an M2 Competition. Not for price. This is like you get the discount, but performance-wise, it's right there.
And then I guess price-wise, it's similar to like a C43, but performance-wise, like this is the car to get.
Yeah, and like an M340i and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this is the one I would get. I would even debate this over a Cayman. I just enjoy the looks that much.
And since this doesn't come with a manual transmission, if I was doing auto against auto, Porsche against Supra,
Yeah.
I think I'd still go with the Boxster.
Just because the PDK is that fast.
Yes, I mean Cayman, because roof.
Yes, whatever.
Z4 versus Boxster.
Oh yeah, well, Z4 versus Boxster, I'd go Boxster. This versus Cayman, I would honestly think about this.
This is the coolest thing ever right now.
It is.
I absolutely love every part of it. Like driving is best, but I can't deal with the buffeting. And like that is a 100% deal breaker for me. If it was gone, I'd probably take this over an M2 Competition.
The buffeting is a serious problem, I will give you that. However, I just enjoy looking at this so much. I enjoy driving it so much. I would still take this if I had the money for it.
And the way I see it, I would get an M2 Competition in a dark color. You know how like we were talking about if you have a GT2 RS, you want to get it because you know.
Yeah.
Cause like everybody looked at this.
You just want to be at the speed limit all the time.
I've had more attention in this than pretty much any car this year besides my Prowler.
This is kind of like when the Type R came out.
Yeah.
Everybody was hyped up, but this is like on another level because it's like, you know, a real rear-wheel drive sports
and it's
car.
yellow.
Yeah, exactly. I think Toyota absolutely nailed this, and I'm so happy that it exists. Let us know in the comments what you guys think about the Supra. Are you upset that it has a BMW engine? Are you upset that it's kind of a lot of a BMW? Let us know your thoughts.
Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Check out patreon.com/TheStraightPipes, join our YouTube membership, and check out Teespring for some sick swag. Actually, one guy told me to call it drip. Yo, check out our drip.